Hello everybody. Welcome to Angelonic Video Tutorials. Today I will discuss a little bit, I will present you a little bit something about AWS. You know, if we discussed in the past a lot about Azure as a cloud, C# as a programming language, and Visual Studio as an IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Today we will discuss a little bit about Azure and about AWS to compare, but in general for AWS. AWS, it's equivalent of Azure. You know, they have everything. It's from, if Azure is from Microsoft, AWS is from Amazon. Exists also Google Cloud. So all these big three providers offer cloud services. So in this case, today we will be focused, we'll be concentrated on AWS. AWS, you can create some projects like AWS serverless application or AWS Lambda project. You know, this is what you can create. You need to install first AWS. For that you need to go in extensions, AWS, install, you have everything, you know. Let's see a little bit what's going on here, and we will discuss about what is there. Okay, so let's start like this first. This part, you know, you can see now also my desktop and my Visual Studio, because we will use AWS web services from Amazon and C# as a programming language, as Visual Studio as IDE. IDE is Integrated Development Environment. Okay, good. In this case we will have something like this. We have AWS serverless application, because if it's cloud it's serverless. Okay, you don't need to do server side, it's just client side, and go in cloud and say, have a task and say do that, and cloud need to do it for you. Lambda project is equivalent of Azure functions, something like that. If someone knows about Azure cloud, it's equivalent of Azure functions somehow, you know. So today we will take something like a serverless application without tests, because I don't need it, just for a simple presentation. Okay, we will have AWS serverless test presentation, and here test presentation solution. Okay, because we have a solution, and of course it's put it into a specified location. In the moment when you try to create, bang, this window appear, and this window is dedicated in what you had, that kit, that package installed. You need to go to AWS, you know, to Amazon, and take that download, or you can do it directly from Visual Studio. Okay, in this case we have AWS from them for a new project, new AWS serverless application, and we can choose for specified project what we want. An empty one, .NET 5, ASP.NET Core API, ASP.NET Core web application. We can do directly a web application, you know. ASP.NET Core 5 container, and so on, you know. Basically it's a container image. You can use directly what is on Amazon, or you can use a container part like Docker or whatever, you know. That's DevOps part in part of DevOps, you know, what they put there, how they manage AWS and so on. Detect image labels, WebSocket API, and so on. In my case, a .NET 5 container image is quite okay for the moment. Says finish, and now basically IDE Visual Studio, named Visual Studio, will do a scaffolding for us. We'll build a scaffold. That's why the name is scaffolding. It's like a scaffold, you know, and it's built automatically by IDE for you. To have it also the structure and everything directly on what you want. Basically, you will have everything you want in that project, you know, created by Visual Studio for you. Let's let me to move a little bit from one monitor to another monitor. Okay, so here is Visual Studio. If you check, you can see view, and here you can have a lot of things, but also AWS Explorer. When you go in AWS Explorer, you can have credentials and everything you want, if you want to create one, and so on. So if you want to see all this part, just go and put in tools or extensions. Look, AWS Toolkit is already done, it's installed, so you can manage extensions, for example. Let's do it. Let's do also this step a little bit, okay? And what we have installed here, we have AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio 2017 or more than 2017 as version, okay? So basically, if you don't know what to do, just go AWS and let Visual Studio to find online for you. So you have AWS Toolkit for Visual Studio in 2017 and 2019. I'm using Visual Studio 2019. You can have AWS management, Azure.NET provider, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Okay, but this is free. This is for people who really want to use also AWS, not just Azure. Okay, good. So you just install it, and you will have it as extension here. Okay. Also, you will have it here, AWS Explorer, basically this one. In this part of the image, okay? Here. Let's go back to Solution Explorer, because we have already a solution and a project. The project is AWS Serverless Test Presentation. Let's build everything, because it's better to build. Don't forget, you can build clicking on Build Solution, or Control Shift and B. These are the keys: Control Shift plus B, you know, and B. These three keys on keyboard. Okay, so build succeed. Let's start to do a mock lambda now and start to see what's going on. Basically, it's a web interface. All this you will see. It's a web interface. Somehow the interface, the graphical interface, is like interface for other testers, for APIs, for example, Postman or something like that. But you will see it's dedicated for AWS. Basically, here we go. Localhost, AWS.NET Core 5 mock lambda test tool, run, and we have everything we want here. Get to put credentials. I don't have credentials here because I don't have credentials in that part. You know, when I present about credentials about AWS Explorer. Okay, so basically here you can start to execute functions in that and have response of what's going on. In my case, I will execute a function. I have a simple respond. Everything is JSON, like in Amazon, like in Azure, like in Google. Google, everything it's JSON part, and you will see the part. Also here, some examples you can have directly for Alexa. Yeah, you can have it, this one. I mean, for a smart home, you know, or AWS, or you can have for common part like Hello World, mobile backend, Lex. Let's take a Hello World, basically key 1 value 1, key 2 value 2, key 3 value 3. This is to help you. It's just a simple test, you know. So in this case, execute the functions, and you have something on get, some get request, you know. Basically, everything what is in localhost. Localhost, so exactly like you have, for example, Azure Service Fabric, and you can use it in localhost, Azure Service Fabric. The same with the web interface. The same is for AWS with the web interface, and you can test everything you want localhost before to send everything in cloud. Okay, so that's good for developers, you know. So test functions, the letter query, if we want to monitor the letter query, start monitoring, and now they monitor, and so on and so on. For people who will go to develop directly on AWS, they will learn everything what's going on there. Okay. Also, we have a CLI, common language interface. I mean, just the interface that, like MS-DOS, you know, for entry levels to say it's CLI, it's like MS-DOS. You know, it's just command line. You know, nothing else. It's command line, an interface for command line, nothing else. And here, if I do something, you will see everything in this. It's environment, local host is prepared, and so on and so on. Command line interface you have also in Azure. I try to do this comparison to see people who is in .NET. A lot of them are in Azure, but some countries like Great Britain, for example, have a lot of companies who work with AWS, but also they work with Azure. So probably it's the best for a software developer to know both. You know, if you understand the fundamentals of cloud fundamentals, basically it's very easy for you after that to separate just like two programming languages. You know, if you know .NET and what .NET do, what .NET have, how data goes, you know, data flow and so on. In that case, you know, it will be very easy for you to learn C#, VB.NET, and so on and so on. You know, because everything goes in .NET. The same here. If you know the basics of cloud, you can use AWS, you can use Azure, you can use Google, and so on and so on, because it's very, very easy for you as a software developer to apply. You know, the basics are the same. Okay, just the differences of interfaces, or what is that? That's Lambda, that's function, that's, you know, it's good. On the market you will find, if you want, books for .NET developers, dedicated directly for .NET developers, who do comparisons between AWS, Azure. Basically, it's not the other type of comparison, and what is in that shows you in the other one. So basically you can learn in both directions and learn correct. So this is my presentation for you today. I hope everything is quite okay. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me today, and till next time, what can I say? See you. Bye.